Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast. I am your host, Josh, as always. Joining me is Stu World Order
Hey everyone, I've missed you all.
and Rue on Wrestling.
I'm not as enthusiastic. Hi guys.
Yeah, before we got on, we were all talking about how tired we're feeling today, and Stu's the one with the energy.
I'm going to carry you through this, guys. We can do it.
Yeah, we're gonna have Stu be the host today.
Then prepare
um
for 4 hours.
So today we're doing something a little bit different, mix things up a little bit. Today we're going over, as you guys can see in the title, potential last opponents for John Cena. I don't even know what the title of the video is actually going to be, but you guys will get the gist of the video by the title. But yeah, we've all picked some people who we think could be John Cena's last opponent. I did a tournament, I believe it was in March, on my Instagram story on who John Cena's greatest rival was, and that ended in a draw between I believe it was Randy Orton and CM Punk. Um, so yeah, and today we're doing another John Cena related video because it is his retirement tour, and why not? And this actually started from a conversation we had in the group chat. I'm pretty sure, and we are like, you know what, this would be a
Yeah.
good podcast episode.
Yeah.
Now we're going to find out.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, uh, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Uh, Go check out my WWE shop link. It's always in the description below if you plan on buying anything from WWE shop. Go follow Stu World Order on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Go follow Ruin Wrestling on TikTok. They always got some great content over there. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm thinking we do this is I'll say one and then I'll pass it to one of you and we'll talk about each one and we'll just keep going in a circle.
Sounds good.
So yeah,
Well,
we talked before, we have three main ones, and then we have some wild cards in mind that we're gonna throw out there after. Um, so I'll go first. The first one I have on the list here for Cena's last opponent is Drew McIntyre.
God damn
And I think Drew McIntyre would be a very solid option for John Cena's last opponent because we've seen Drew mention Cena before and take some shots at Cena. Obviously, this would be a case where John Cena would have to go back babyface because I don't think it would this would work if Drew turned babyface. Um, and we're all expecting Cena to turn back babyface. The seeds are slowly being planted there already anyway. And yeah, I think Drew would be a really good match for Cena for his last one.
I'll let you go if you want to go Stu first.
oh man, do you know what? He wasn't even on my list, so that's thrown me already. I think it's something Drew needs like massively.
Yeah.
I think you're right in saying that Cena's going to finish babyface. He can't not, as you said. He's already sown the seed. So a lot of my choices are based on that fact. And I think Drew McIntyre, if anybody needs that rub at the moment, it's Drew because he's kind of floundered a little bit since he lost the world heavyweight title. Was it WrestleMania 40?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's had good rivalries. He had the CM Punk thing, which was epic, and he's had a pretty good one with Damian Priest, but he's not really been the man in either of those, I don't think. And I think this would be a great thing for him. Do I think he's deserving of John Cena's last match? I'm going to be honest and say probably not. I think we can do better than that. But I do agree it would be immense for him.
Yeah, I'll follow on the fact. So you might have heard me on that. So Drew was actually one of my picks, so I'll need to think of pull another one out. Um, but so yeah, to follow on what you said, Josh, is the fact that, and we're obviously all in agreement that John Cena will be finishing his run babyface. It seems ridiculous not to, which means when it comes to who's going to be his final opponent, and I've kind of based my picks around that, it can only really be two choices, and one I would say is preferred over the other. The first one is in that final match, it needs to be, if it's going to be a babyface, it has to be someone who can put on a hell of a match with Cena, someone like an AJ Styles. And, we're going on almost 10 years, which is actually kind of disgusting that I thought about it since their rivalry in 2016 at SummerSlam and then going into the Royal Rumble in 2010.
Really?
Yeah, it's disgusting to
God.
think about. So you need someone like that who can put on a hell of a match that's going to get the crowd kind of everyone kind of cheering for both sides because you would know Cena's going to get the cheers. It's going to be Babyface's final match, of course he is. So if you were to put him in, and I feel really bad picking on I don't know who's a really bland babyface right now. Anyone off the roll, so many you could pick
Sami
from.
Zayn.
Oh god, okay, controversial, but sure, let's go. Let's go with that. So like if you were to pull that out and they were to go, it's obviously at the end of this, I'm gonna don't know if you agree or not. I would assume we'll be losing his final match.
Yes,
You you
absolutely.
you would assume. So if they were to have just a standard babyface go out and have a pretty nothing match for him, that is going to do more harm than good, I think, for the babyface.
Yeah.
It's so for instance, if it was to be Cody who did it, that would do way more harm than good if they kept him as a babyface and they went out and just had another rather rubbish match. But so anyway, so these are someone like, who can basically have an incredible match. The other option, and I think the preferred one, I would assume you would agree. Obviously, this has to be someone who not only is a heel, but someone that they want to get behind. Because the heat you get from being a bad guy and defeating John Cena in his final match is going to be nuclear, and they need to be ready to strap that. Not just strap the rocket to the person, but basically run with it. Like they can't
Yeah.
have a Baron Corbin beating Kurt Angle, and it means absolutely nothing.
That was amazing. I don't know what you're
Like,
talking about.
which is a shame because I love Baron Corbin as well, but they meant absolutely nothing. So they need to have. So I would. So yeah. So to come. So anyway, my whole long-winded point to come back to Drew is someone I would like to see in that position. I would like to see him get that. I think he could absolutely. If you want to talk about someone who could run with the fact of being the person to retire John Cena, it's Drew. Drew would ham it home to the point where everyone was sick of it, but in a good way. I think Drew is dead. As Stu said, I would agree. Like Stu needs us. My God, Drew needs this.
I do need it.
You do need it. You need to beat John Cena.
I do.
Um, no, I could give Drew something to do. As Stu said, like he's had fantastic, literally generational feuds, but they kind of it's all stop start. So I would like to see Drew do it. Do I think he's going to be the one to do it? I don't, but this is what is really interesting about this conversation we're having is I actually don't know the answer to this. It's interesting to throw out these ideas, but if you generally told me to pick one person, I actually don't know. So do I think it would be Drew? Probably not, but it's someone I'd be intrigued to see. Do I think the match would be much? Not particularly. I don't know if Drew and Cena's styles would necessarily work well together, but I would be really intrigued to see the character that Drew would come out of that performance with. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite a slow match, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stu, you can go ahead with your next pick or your first one.
Okay. So I think it would be a shame for John Cena to go out not putting someone younger over. I think, as we said, I think it's almost certainly it's going to be babyface. So I'm thinking of who would be a young heel that could really do with the rub and will make him, as Rue said, nuclear. And I can't look past Logan Paul because
Oh,
honestly, they've already had the little tag team thing. They had their tiny spats during that, and I think a little tiny seed has been planted. And I think if you just think about the fact that John Cena's sitting there talking about his last match and who his dream opponents would be, and Logan Paul just kind of ransacks the whole plan, pulls his sway or whatever, and says, "I'm going to be your last match," everybody would hate it. And then if Logan Paul went over John in his last match, seriously, you will never be able to hear a word that man says again because he will be booed out of every single building. And also, you think the athleticism of Logan Paul, he could actually carry a lot of that match as well. Cena could call it, but Logan Paul could be doing a lot of the physical carrying of that match. I just think he might be the perfect last opponent for John Cena.
Um, I'm like, it's just funny to think what I love. So like, obviously, and I'm going to say straight, I hate it, but I also secretly love it at the same time. Like, I love chaos. I love to see the world burn in wrestling. That's why, like, I obviously don't want Goldberg to beat Gunther, but there's a small part of me that does to just see the world burn and
You watch your mouth.
just to see the IWC just lose their collective minds. It would be hilarious. But there is, I guess, okay. So obviously, like out of the way with, I wouldn't want to see it. However, there's certainly an intrigue there, and it really depends, I think, on what WWE see in Logan Paul. Like, obviously, we've learned he isn't just a celebrity; he is a full-time wrestler. But when we say that, do WWE see him as being a guy that they want to carry the company? Because that's the thing; it's not like it's just a like this is almost bigger than just winning a world title. Like Logan Paul can win a world title and it be what is going to be, but to be the one that retires John Cena, that is like a crazy accolade to carry in your backpack. And as I said, I don't want to see it, but part of me is really would be interested to see because, as you said, like the levels of heat that Logan Paul would get. He already can barely speak when he goes out because of the booze. To have that and to be able to hold that over the WWE universe would be insane.
Plus, we kind of do need a new big bad because John Cena's
And
filling that role at the moment as the big bad. It's coming to an end, but we don't have the big bad at the moment. And
yeah,
what an easy way to make one.
certainly. It would. I mean, definitely. Like, I think it really depends on what stock WWE have in Logan Paul to do that. Because if they, as you said, they could really easily make a generational heel from that one move, but it just depends what I think they see in Logan Paul in the next 10 years.
I
Damn it, you made a
don't
good point. God damn it,
I don't think Logan Paul will be in the WWE in the next 10 years. I think that he's gonna find some other ventures to do, and I there's not even a part of me that loves this idea. I'm sorry, Stu, but I absolutely because Logan Paul did come to mind. I'm not gonna lie, he did come to mind, and I contemplated on putting him on my list, but I'm like, I'm not even gonna put that thought out there into the world for Logan Paul to have that um have that moment to be John Cena's last opponent, let alone go over John Cena.
This
Um
sounds like you're going to blame me if it happens now, Josh.
um yeah, no, it's just not something, and I've tried to get behind Logan Paul, and like I can't take away his in-ring ability. There's just something about him that like, and it's not even just like the character, because it's just Logan Paul himself that I can't get behind. And it's like I said, it's not his in-ring talent. It's not the character itself. It's the person, Logan Paul, that I don't know. I think it's just all the controversy that he had years ago, and I know he's cleaned himself a lot since then. But for that guy to be the one to wrestle John Cena for his last match is just not something I'd be interested in at all.
Let's all be happy I'm not a WWE writer then.
You ready to watch the world burn?
um, but yeah, that's all I really have to say about the Logan Paul thing. So Ru, I'll let you take over on who your next one is.
Sure. Right. I'm going to continue the theme of nuclear heat. Maybe not to the quite Logan Paul standards, but for this next one, I would say match wise, I don't think it would be very good at all. But character wise, I'm going to go with Dominic Mysterio to
Oh,
defeat
Oh,
to
damn
defeat
it.
to defeat John Cena in his final match. The only bit that puts the asterisks in this is obviously the whole Liv Morgan situation, and obviously Dom is kind of. Oh, we don't really know what or where Dom is currently mindset wise. Is he wanting to be babyface? It seemed like it at WrestleMania, or do they want to go back to being a heel with him? I mean, that's the thing. I want to cheer Dom Mysterio. Like I love him so much, but like I equally love to hate him so much. Especially if they do the Liv coming back and say Dom was to do. I mean, just factor the story that he had with Rhea about with Liv, and he was to turn on Liv and side with the Judgment Day and Roxanne. So he's already going to be have that heat. But just I don't. It's one. This is one of these ones. But the match wise, the Dom Mysterio versus John Cena doesn't interest me at all. I don't think it'd be good at all. But just I don't know, just it's more just to see the crowd reaction afterwards and kind of taking that like as Stu was going on about like the Logan Paul aspect of just nuclear heat and the whole point to put that on a young up and coming talent and just be able to lord that over everyone. Like I would love to see Dom run with it.
Oh, I really like that. See, now, if Dom does that, say he turns on Liv Morgan, so we had the Dom heel turn, then we had the Dom double heel turn as he turned against Rhea Ripley. Then if he heel turns again against Liv Morgan, and then heel turns again against John Cena, he will be the only heel to ever turn heel 4 times while being heel.
He's Eddie's son. What can I say?
It's magnificent. I actually have no downside to this at all, apart from I want to cheer Dom
I
Mysterio as
know it's
well.
the Fed.
There's no downside.
yeah, I
And
do.
the
I
match
like the idea.
oh, sorry, Josh.
No, no worries. I like the idea of Dominic Mysterio being Cena's last opponent. I don't think a lot of people would agree with me on that. I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh no, Dominic Mysterio out of all people." But Rule explained it really well. The heat that Dominic Mysterio would get because right now the crowd can't seem to decide whether they want to cheer or boo Dominic. One week they're cheering him and chanting his name, and then when he was announcing his injury, they were booing him out of the building again. Um, so I think this would solidify him as a heel, like completely. And no, it would not be the greatest technical match, greatest wrestling match. Um, but a lot of Cena's matches aren't. And I think Dominic Mysterio could actually bring a good story. You add the Judgment Day to it, probably, and add some other factors into it. I think Dominic Mysterio could, and you could even put the Intercontinental title on the line. I know it's Cena's last match, but have the factor of the only title Cena hasn't won on the line.
I didn't even think about that to be honest with you. There we go.
That's a great shout. That's really good.
Gonna say
And
I
we
forgot Dom was even Intercontinental Champion, but I think so is WWE. To be honest with you.
almost as much as they forgot Io Sky was women's
Oh,
champion.
God, it was. Get started on that.
um,
Do we really think it's going to be a bad match?
Well, I don't know. I would say maybe not bad, but maybe just I'd feel also again bad saying underwhelming. I think it'd be quite similar maybe to the Austin Theory one at WrestleMania. I wouldn't necessarily say bad. I just don't think it would be too exciting.
Fair dues. Do we think? Does anybody here think that John Cena is going to be walking into that match as champion still?
no.
No, no. At the
Me
beginning,
neither.
maybe, but
Same.
since how this run's gone, no, I don't think so.
And I
I
think we all know where he's losing it as well.
Yeah.
yeah, it's more than likely gonna be SummerSlam. Um, and there's been reports, and we'll go over this on the headlines of the week, whenever we do them, if it's tomorrow or Saturday. Um, but the reports of Cody going over to Hollywood, and then there were some people saying that maybe Cody wins it and then loses it due to a cash in at SummerSlam.
If he's disappearing, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
the shame that he's going. He's going. Oh yeah, he's going to play Guile, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get into that when the time comes. Um, so I am surprised neither of you guys brought up this name, and he is one of my main three, and it's Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker would be a perfect opponent for Cena's last match. And I
Damn it,
say
Joe.
I say perfect because he's young, he's up and coming, and he's one of the best up and comers right now. And this guy has all the potential in the world once he stops barking at people, that is. Um, but this guy is an absolute specimen. I honestly think Braun Breaker could put on a pretty good match with John Cena. Just because of his, brutality, his aggression, and this could elevate Braun Breaker into the world title scene. Maybe there's some friction between Seth and Bronson and that faction afterwards or before, and then Braun goes into a title feud. Um I don't see that happening, but I do see Braun Breaker being Cena's last opponent.
After you, Rue.
Very cool. So yeah, the reason that I haven't said it yet and Braun is not on my list is because it's the obvious one. That's simple as I said it in my one before there. That I was like, I honestly don't know who. If you were to ask me who do I actually think will be John Cena's last opponent, I said I really don't know. If I had to pick someone, I would say Braun. I know it kind of goes against what we are doing here, not picking Braun as one of my picks, but I thought it'd be interesting to go with other options. But I think Braun is not necessarily the obvious one. So I don't think it is too obvious, but I would have said Braun would do it, especially before he was aligned with Seth Rollins. I would have said Braun 100%. That's the only asterisk that I put around this with it being Braun Breaker. I still think like they would just go with it anyway because, as you said, it will make him no matter what. The only thing I think maybe they don't go with Braun is simply because he's in this group with Seth Rollins. Now, and I agree, like they need to do something with them, and at the minute he is just barking dog man. But and I hate the term, and you hear everyone saying it of the let Triple H cook. I find it very cringy and annoying sometimes. However, this is one of the situations with Seth's group. I think that's maybe true. Like Braun, if obviously just need to let it keep going, especially as soon as Seth gets that world title. I think the group's really going to take off, and I think Braun will be fine being paired alongside Seth Rollins. So I think he is kind of already sorted for his eventual mega push. Now, there's nothing wrong with strapping this to him as well, which just adds extra fuel to it. But if they wanted to at the same time make someone else, so they had another option as a potential top heel in the company, they might not go with Braun here because I think he's already going to be a made man. Yes, at the minute it's a bit rubbish, but this is one of your times I'm like, we probably do just need to see where the story goes. But either way, I think Braun's probably a very smart and the most likely option.
Well, I'm not going to forgive Josh because I did have him on my list.
Oh.
It was one of my only real non-ridiculous picks. So now I'm just left with the ridiculous. To be fair, man, as soon as John Cena turned heel, my mind started going, who will be the guy to stop him? And it was always in my head, Braun Breaker, until, as Rue just said, he joined Seth Rollins' faction, which I was mega excited about anyway. I thought that was a perfect vehicle for him. It's been shockingly bad so far. Apart from the only person really to get any pin wins out of that faction so far is Braun Breaker. So That's the only thing slightly helping him along. He needs to stop barking when the doorbell goes. That'd be great. It's such a logical thing. I think the easy way to get Bron Breakker being the opponent is for John Cena to sow the chords of dissent within Seth Rollins' faction by saying he wants Bron Breakker to be his last opponent. I think that's the easy way to tell that story. But yeah, it makes total sense. He's going to be the main eventer for many years to come. And it's a perfect way to really stick a rocket up his ass.
Yep, that's
And the match will be really good as well because Braun could do the heavy lifting in that match.
yeah, I think that would be a good one. Out of the ones we've said, I would say Braun and Cena's the match I would be most excited to watch out of what we've said so far.
So damn you, Josh.
All right. I forget who. I think it's used to for your next pick.
It is me. So I'm gonna be Captain Mega Obvious now. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna carry on with the Young Bucks. I'm gonna go for Ethan Page.
God damn it!
Suck it,
It's two men. It's two men gone.
Mainly because I just want him on the main roster being exactly who he is in NXT.
Yeah.
And just being it against bigger stars. And there is at the moment no bigger star than John Cena. I think we need to get him on the main roster before this happens. I don't think a surprise from NXT would be the way to go, but I just can't look beyond Ethan Page as being a mega heel. And what a quick way to get someone being the megaest of mega heels than Ethan Page. Just the promos between them two, just on the build up to that last match would be immense. John Cena's no stranger. He was back in the day, but like in his last few runs, he's no stranger to putting over young talent. And I think Ethan Page is just the perfect foil for John Cena. When you go back to Mr. Hustle, loyalty, and respect, and you've got Ethan Page, who is just, as he says, all ego. I think the meshing of the two characters, it wouldn't be the greatest match, but it would still be a good match, but a good story. I think the story them two could tell together in the ring would be superb. And again, it's just a great way of sticking a star on Ethan Page nice and quickly because he deserves it. And I want to see him go on to mega things in the WWE main roster.
Hell yeah. Do you want to go for this one, Josh, and I'll join after?
Sure. I actually didn't have Ethan Page on my list. And I think it's just because he completely slipped my mind, but I think Ethan Page would be a great option for this. And I'm in total agreement with you, Stu. I think Ethan Page should be on the main roster soon, definitely before this happens. And yeah, Ethan Page is just an all around great asshole. Like he is so good at being just that. And like you said, he would be perfect to be matched up with Cena for his last match. Those segments would be amazing. And Ethan Page would definitely, because right now he's the guy that, he sometimes gets cheered, but he's the guy that like you love to hate in NXT. If this were the case on the main roster and Ethan Page were to go over John Cena, I think that he would get actual heat and it would be perfect for him because if there's anybody that knows how to eat that all up, it is Ethan Page. And I think he would be really, really good in this spot. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. You really pointed out all the points for Ethan Page. Yeah, I like the pick of Ethan Page.
Can you imagine his first promo after beating John Cena?
Oh, brother.
August prick in the planet.
Literally, it would be electric with just it would be Shawn Michaels in Montreal Heat.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, so as you heard from my reaction, I had Ethan Page on my list. And when I said before about Braun Breaker being probably the most likely one, if you would ask me the one that I really want, I was going to try and keep Ethan Page for the end. Yeah, Ethan Page is who I want because you've said it all already. He would just be fantastic in that role. He said match, give or take, I'm sure it'll be fine, but I would just love to see him after defeating John Cena. Especially as you said, like if you want to take someone younger and put a bit of a rocket to them and get them up with them, not just get them on the main roster, but send them to the freaking moon. Yeah, Ethan Page I think is a perfect pick.
Yeah.
I want it. I'm excited for it, and it's not even happening.
All right, before we get into these, because I know these are gonna be a long conversation, I am gonna start another meeting because we're on a time limit. So yeah, I will be back. All right, we are back. So I think it was your turn, Rue, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I believe so. So, in the wee break, had a quick think, and you know, I think I've actually came up with two actual slightly more serious options than jokey ones. So I'll go for the first one. The first one is Goldberg. No, I am joking.
Oh my god. Get out.
I am joking.
Get out.
Imagine the scenes. No.
No, I don't want to imagine it. I don't.
World champion Goldberg.
I know exactly. No, the actual one I had thought about, and it's someone, and it kind of comes back to what I was saying, who actually probably doesn't need it and definitely doesn't need the heat, but also someone who could absolutely just lavish it and just run with it. And I'm gonna go Gunther in here, and
Wow.
he doesn't
Damn.
even necessarily need to lose the title. I said in a perfect world where Gunther doesn't lose to Goldberg and also retires Goldberg. Imagine that, saying you've retired Goldberg and
Oh.
John Cena in like 6, 7 months. Like to hold that accolade, and you just know, like Gunther's a main star. He'll be fine. He'll be going to win many, many other championships and probably end up getting himself in the Hall of Fame one day quite easily. So he doesn't necessarily need it, but someone who could hell absolutely run with it is Gunther, I think.
Oh, I just love the story. Like you call Randy the
Yep.
legend killer, but Gunther would be the
Mm.
legend retirer.
But that's the you could just have a run. They said if you retired Goldberg, and you could have Goldberg, oh, no Goldberg, sorry, God, throw myself off now. Gunther going on a semi run like that. He could go through, obviously not necessarily retiring people, but he could go through like Randy. It looks like we're going to be getting Gunther Punk at one point just from the interaction on Raw. So we
Love
could
it.
have him basically going through John Cena's greatest opponents, and then it ends up with him and Cena, and you know Gunther would just milk it and use it as absolute gold.
Would you have him destroy him?
Oh yeah, I
We're
think so.
talking like,
I think so. I think they still have a match, but I think like by the end of it, Cena's a broken man.
I like that visual. I
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about building a big bad, aren't we? It would be the best thing to
Mm-hmm.
do for the WWE would be whoever it is to build the big bad. And you ain't going to get much bigger and badder than Gunther, especially if he's lying over John Cena's broken, retired ass.
So that it's Cena's last match. Let's get some Jimmy Uso blood involved as well.
I
Just
was
stood there
thinking,
Oh my goodness.
drenched, stood
Gunther
over him.
versus John Cena and Bloodline rules.
Oh my
oh,
god! Just the entire just locker room just runs in.
everybody John Cena's buried in the past all come out.
Wade
Yeah,
Barrett gets up in commentary
exactly.
like,
The Nexus comes
Oh
back.
man.
I love that.
Um, so I actually did have Gunther on my list. I threw him in the wild card option just because I don't know if they'd fully go with Gunther, so I threw him in the wild card, but I think Gunther would be a good option for Cena's last match. And like you guys said, I think this could be a match where Gunther dominates most of it. I think Cena will have, like could have like a little shine at the start, but majority of the match would just be Gunther dominating and maybe at the end of it leaving Cena in a bloody mess just to put over that dominance of Gunther. And yeah, this is all hoping that he God forbid doesn't lose to Goldberg at Saturday night's main event.
Oh,
Um But yeah, I think Gunther and Cena, I think it would be a good match. Even with Gunther dominating most of it, I think this would be a really good match.
I agree. I think the match is one of the better matches that we've said so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree as well with that. I think those styles would mesh quite well. And as you said, you could even have it, maybe not to the same extent, but kind of a la SummerSlam 2014 with Cena and Lesnar, and just have Gold. I keep calling him Goldberg for God's sake.
You
we
really
have
want Goldberg to win, don't you?
I know I've tricked my own mind into being like, oh yeah, it should just be Goldberg. No, you just have good for just dominates on every element of the match, and needed maybe a little bit of comeback for Cena, but at the end, it's just that visual. Now that I've said it, and we've all spoken about it, I'm like, yeah, just that visual good for standing over just a bloody John Cena in the ring, and that is John Cena done. I think would do wonders.
With his mental smile that he seems to have got recently.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's one of my favorite sort of things we've said so far.
Um so my last main one that I have here is Seth Rollins. And I think this, and obviously they've faced off before, but they have had really good matches in the past. And we saw the confrontation with them recently where Seth tried to cash in. And I think that could culminate into Seth being Cena's last opponent and Seth being the one to fully retire John Cena and beat him in his last match. And I think if you're going to have Seth Rollins completely take over everything, be the world champion, run Monday Night Raw, hell, maybe even Friday Night SmackDown, if you're going to have this guy run everything, why not start with it with him beating John Cena in his last match?
I don't know how I didn't get this on my list. I don't know how Seth Rollins slipped my mind. And you've just literally already put the dots in place as well. And nobody can have a bad match for Seth Rollins. So that takes care of the actual match itself. Seth Rollins taking over WWE. Ooh, what was that? WWE. um, Again, the story writes itself. Just, there's no real reason not to do that, is there?
Yeah, I yeah, totally. That's the thing. It goes back to it's one of the reasons I didn't put it down. I thought about it because it's so obvious. That doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's actually, if anything, I really like it. But as you said, it's so just the story makes sense to have. As Josh said, they've had this is someone that's has had a past and had great matches with. So I have no worries about that. And yeah, I kind of similar, I guess, to the Gunther one. Is it someone who necessarily needs the heat behind them? Probably not. But hey, if you want to make a new Triple H from 2003, like an just guy who runs everything, this is absolutely one way in. To be fair, I did say they're like, no, this, they don't necessarily need it. Maybe Seth doesn't, but certainly the group
I
does.
was going to say,
And it'd
I
be a
think they
hell of
do.
a way. Yeah, like actually, yeah. So maybe Seth himself doesn't, but as a leader of this group, hell, that's a way to get like not just obviously because it wouldn't just be Seth getting booed. Also, he can lap it up and be the catalyst for it. But you'd also get Bronson if someone else joins. It would do wonders for them all, especially as what I said previously. I was like, we do need to wait until Seth at least wins the title, and then we can start to be like, right, what he's going to do. But hell, this is a great second step to that. If Seth was already the champion, and yeah, I'm totally in on that as well.
Yeah, I got nothing
Another
else. That just makes absolute sense.
another point also, and we're all assuming John Cena loses the title at SummerSlam, but what if in a case it's not Cody that beats Cena and then the cash in happens? The cash in could happen in the middle of the match, just like Seth did at WrestleMania 31, and screwing both Cody and Cena over. That already plants the seeds for that match. Plus, if WWE decides to do, because I think they are going to do War Games, I'm not sure yet, but it would be, I can't think of anybody else, any other faction that would be thrown into war games other than Seth's faction. And if you're going to do war games and you have Seth's faction in there, it's very possible that a babyface John Cena could be on the opposing team to plant more of those seeds for Seth versus Cena.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what, on that as well. Again, got the fantasy booking hat on currently, and you've just made me think of everything. My brain's going a million miles an hour. I think, and this is like I've seen other people talking about it. This is something I think kind of, I guess, spoilers for the year ahead. That I think at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins is going in as WWE champion, and I think the match that they're going to do, I said kind of spoilers for later on in the year, is I think they might do Cody and Seth at Mania for the title, and part of that also plays the kind of falls into place is obviously the current fanfare with Cody isn't the best. I still love Cody Rhodes. I would be booing the man. I'm still quite happy with Cody. However, I know the general feeling is starting to just turn a little bit. So if you, as you said, Josh, if they did do it that they had at SummerSlam, say Cody was to beat Cena, even if he wasn't, but no matter what, Seth cashes in and he becomes the WWE champion. Further down the road, Seth beats Cena. We've already mentioned it. Nuclear heat on Seth Rollins finally get people to start singing his pissing song. Nuclear heat on Seth Rollins, have a returning babyface Cody Rhodes with people who actually want to see the person beat Seth Rollins. Then they can go into Mania and hopefully the crowd would be more behind Cody in that sense than they would be if he was now just going to go on to become champion at SummerSlam and just carry the belt.
I'm really impressed that you've made John Cena's last match, John Cena, become a bit of an afterthought in the whole story.
Hey, you got to think forward. Triple H, sign me up. I'm always thinking forward.
I can't say anything wrong with that either. It's yeah. God, you guys are making sense today.
Maybe tired, but we know what we're talking
And I'm just like, oh, I think this would be really funny if this happened.
We need it. Yeah, I'm down here. Logan Paul. I can't say his name. Logan Paul. Sorry, let's do it.
Do you guys have any other main picks before we start throwing out wild cards?
Well, I'm gonna go for an obvious one, and that's Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
I know it's like probably a collective, Roman, but the best goes out against the best, right?
yeah.
I just,
He was
I,
on my list as well. That I thought about.
was he?
Wait, let's to think about.
Yeah, I just think I think the big dog takes out John Cena. It'll be a classy affair. It'll be handshakes and mutual respect and cuddles. And Roman does a spear off of like 15 ropes. And yeah, I just think it'd be a decent match. I think it'd just be a great send off for a great champion. But I mean, it's not massively exciting. But again, you guys put together these amazing beats of storylines and stuff like this would make sense because of this. I've thought about this in several different ways, and it all makes sense. I'm just like, it would be really cool if Roman Reigns fought John Cena. Why? Who?
You're gonna hate my next pick. Um, no, that's the thing. So, like, I did have Roman on my list again. If there's someone that I think, especially because they've already done the Randy and Punk matches, if they are going to do a babyface versus babyface match, I think they would go with Roman. If that's the way, if they just want to make it all nice, and I disagree with the if that's the way they were going to do it. I do think they should. I know we're joking about it previously. I do think, as you said, like Cena's retirement match probably should be used to elevate or progress a story. But at the same time, if they aren't going to go down that route, and that's their own decision, if they aren't, I think Roman's a pretty good shout to be truly honest to go with. People love Roman Reigns now; they want to love Roman Reigns, and having the two go up, especially being able, it'd be interesting to see how Roman. I know they did have their match SummerSlam 2022, maybe.
Yeah, I trust you on that
21, I
one, man.
believe.
It could wait. The 21. See, I was wrong potentially. Either way, it would be interesting to see how this match would come about, considering if we forget that period of the Roman and John, the match they had at, oh god, now they're really testing me. It was at No Mercy 20. 2018, maybe? No Mercy
2017, I
2018?
think.
Oh, God damn
Yeah.
it.
How do you guys remember this stuff?
I can remember the play per view, I can't remember the day. The one where obviously, I mean, the Cena just ruined Roman on the mic. It would be interesting to see this now mature Roman Reigns, and he's even past the tribal chief stage. He's ascended into godhood. I would be interested to see if that's the route they're going to go down with a straight up babyface versus babyface. I would choose Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I agree.
I
Especially as it was my first.
actually I think if they were to go the Roman route, that they should have a bit of heelish acts from Roman because we've had Roman Reigns refer to himself as the GOAT, but John Cena also referred to himself as the GOAT. If I'm Roman Reigns, if thinking realistically, if I'm Roman Reigns, I don't want somebody else claiming that they're the GOAT. I want to prove that I'm the GOAT again by beating this person. And I think that we could get a little heelish with Roman, which I would prefer to see over than the whole I have respect for you, but I'm gonna beat you storyline. Um, I think that would be more interesting. We have two goats, literally two goats going at it for that greatest all time title.
Do you know what I like about this podcast? I say ridiculous things, and you two make it make sense. I don't know how we can market this and make money out of it, but I say ridiculous things, and you two make it logical. There's got to be a way to make this a thing.
Send us your crazy ideals and we'll turn it into a storyline. We hire by
Yeah,
WWE
exactly.
one day.
Although I spend a lot of time on 2K Universe mode, so I spend a lot of time just booking things. So these things just like pop up in my brain, like, oh, what if this happened?
It's genius. It's genius. I feel so small minded. I learn so much on these podcasts.
Rue, did you have I can't remember who. Yeah, Rue. Do you have anybody else on your main list?
So I have one more that I thought about in a quick break. I'm going to try and hopefully maybe blow Stu's mind once again with this. And it involves, so start off, we'll set the scene. It involves a man that I brought up earlier in Dominic Mysterio. So we have Dom and Cena. Eventually they get a match. Not the retirement match, they have a match. And as Josh pointed out, obviously, it's a title that Cena hasn't won yet. Cena eventually goes on to win the Intercontinental Championship. Cena is now Grand Slam champion. Cool. Everything. Goes into his final match. And this is a guy who I think WWE see a lot of potential in. I think it's clear with that. I think he's someone who'd be good to start out in the mid card, and or not necessarily start out, but just give him a shot there, see how he gets on. Maybe a la kind of what they're doing with Jacob Fatu right now. Just quick reign, see how they're getting on. All right, cool, you're good. We'll send you up to the main event, and that is Penta. Now, specifically, what I'll say,
Ooh.
obviously, Penta at the minute is a good guy, and I this is the only bit with my again asterisks on this pick is the fact that WWE love Penta. They love sharing Penta merch. I've bought like 2 bits of it myself. I've fallen into it. He must be one of the top merch sellers. They've got the mask, they've got everything they can sell. But I'm not talking about John Cena versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship for his retirement match. I'm talking about John Cena versus Pentagon Dark for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this is gonna I'm maybe testing a wee bit of how much you maybe know about the law of Penta. I'm going to may assume you will, but if not, I would say go and learn about Pentagon Dark. He is incredible. He's disgusting. He's horrible. He's twisted, and he's just amazing. So I would have it going kind of similar to what we had with the Gunther one. Obviously it's a bit maybe lower down the card, but I have John Cena going up against an evil Penta, and Penta going Dark just destroys him, breaks all of his limbs, breaks his fingers, leaves him bloodied in the ring. And then we've built this, and this was starting off with the mid card just to see how we get on. But we, as you said, as we keep saying, whoever beats John Cena, if it's a bad guy, is going to have nuclear heat. let's just strap that rocket to Penta as a bad guy because Pentagon Dark is amazing.
There's only a limit to how many times one man's heart could break in one match, but Pentagon going evil and John Cena retiring, that would pretty much get me there. I don't know an awful lot about Pentagon Dark at all. So again, I've got some learning to do on that one. I like it. I like Penta being involved in anything at the moment because I think the guy's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that. I can't comment much because I don't know Pentagon Dark.
You should do that for a series on your TikTok, learning about evil Pentagon Dark.
Every video just be like, oh my god.
Honestly, like just off topic, it is his stuff with Chelsea Green and Io Shirai and Lucha Underground. If you can find that, trust me, it's incredible.
I'm literally writing it down right now.
Yeah, I've heard about the match with Chelsea Green. I don't think I've watched it, but I've seen the clips of it. And yeah, the Io Shirai one I've seen clips of as well. Is that the one where he like chopped the absolute shit out of her?
Yes, it was that one.
Yeah.
What, Al Penta?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Sorry, should explain. This is Penta versus Chelsea and Io, not just involved. It will definitely put a new light on Chelsea Green as well if you were to watch it.
I don't know where to go with this. My mind has been blown.
So I do like the idea of Penta. However, I don't think that they plan on turning him heel anytime soon. I think they eventually want to do the Lucha Bros thing. Doesn't seem like anytime soon though. It seems like Rey Fenix is teaming with Andrade on SmackDown. And
yeah, they've already ruined Ray.
So yeah, there's that. So Penta could turn heel. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We saw him break Chad Gable's arm out of frustration. And there's also a bit of a story into this where it was a meme on social media on throughout the IWC. When Penta came out, he did his little walk instead of sprinting to save John Cena.
That was so funny.
So maybe there could be an interaction at some point where Cena was like, "Hey, remember when you came out and took your sweet ass time to save me?" And Penta was like, "Well, yeah, I don't give a shit about you."
That was very funny when it happened. I think if taking the joking booking hat off, I do agree. I do think the plan is down the line to eventually do Lucha Bros. And I kind of alluded to it at the beginning. Penta must be up there with one of the top babyface merch sellers next to like Cody and LA Knight. So I don't think they would want to necessarily turn them heel anytime soon. However, in the perfect world, if they fancied it, please consider it.
I want a Penta shirt, but I'm not going to get a Penta shirt until they put something on the back of it.
So, I've got the hoodie with stuff on the back of it. Actually, it's nice.
Really?
Yeah. I've got the hoodie. It's got his mask, his face. Very cool hoodie, actually.
Yeah, but you've got a job where you can afford a hoodie. I have to wait for the cut price discount T-shirts to come out.
I have a girlfriend that can. She's going to go.
Saying that, my wife just bought me John Cena T-shirts. I'm well happy.
I love
it. So yeah, those are our main ones. Do you guys have any others for your main guys?
I love that.
I've got two that will just really piss everybody off. So I've got The Miz.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Come on, they owe us one more go around to try and get it right. Hey, The Rock could get involved again. That'd be hilarious.
The most underrated wrestler of all time, just in.
Or, what stupid one do I throw at you? I'll tell you what. If it could happen, Adam Copeland.
Ooh.
As long as he doesn't show up, as long as he doesn't show up as Cope. I went on a rant on this earlier on my AW video. I was like, I have a few words to say to that man if I ever see him about just the name Cope.
Remember, we all forget that was like a legendary feud for quite a while.
Oh
Was
yeah,
Edge versus John Cena, and I think maybe run that back. This is half the things I've got here is just running stuff back. We've been through CM Punk, we've been through Randy Orton. Why not the Miz or Edge one more time?
bring him back. I mean, speaking, if I mean, if we, obviously if we fantasy booking the stage, Cena had another couple, like another year left, and this other person was wanting to leave said other company, and they were okay with the match, I would be down to see us, Daniel Bryan run back if they were had it in WWE. I know actually, who was it? It was Craig, I think I was speaking to, said he wasn't actually that big a fan of Big D Bryan. But I would be down if in fantasy land, if they were to bring folk from other companies back, I would be down to see Daniel Bryan go up against Cena once more.
Cena should just go to AEW for a
I
second
see.
retirement tour.
Yeah, sorry. He's like, I retired from WWE. Oh, yeah, I'm now all elite. Cool.
And now I'm in TNA. Hooray!
I wouldn't put it bad. Yeah, because that was someone I know actually I did think about. I kind of on that, and I know he is fighting for that match. And it's more for him than a reason to actually have the match. It's more just for him because I said I don't go as far. Oh, I know him personally. I don't know him personally that far, but I'd like know his story, but it just wouldn't make sense. I don't think in the grand scheme of things currently would be Joe Hendry. I know that's his dream match is to go up against Um, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. But then again, he also said, if you were to say the TNA World Champion was going to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania a year ago, you'd be like, "Shop." So who am I to say it won't happen?
Well, you are the world's #1 Joe Hendry fan, Rue.
I am. I am. Being Scottish just qualifies me straight away.
Joe Hendry, if you're listening, would you please say hello to Rue? Please.
Joe and Andrew, please. I want to hold.
Joe and Rue.
Um, so a couple of wild cards I have here. Um, I'm gonna throw out this one because I've been staring at this one and I think it's going to make a lot of people upset with me. But Stu threw out Logan Paul, so I can throw out this one. It's Grayson Waller.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm not even mad.
that's not even a bad shout.
Yeah. I think Grayson Waller could absolutely thrive in that position.
He could. See, this is
I agree. The arrogance.
yeah. That's
Again.
it. That's what it comes back to. I was saying at the beginning. It depends. Obviously, it depends on loads of things. But if WWE see something in that person, then hell yeah. If they could see Grayson Waller being like, you know what, I could see him holding a top belt. Why not? Because he would be perfect to do it. If WWE see a future with Grayson Waller as the WWE champion, I think he's up there alongside Ethan Pages and Braun Breakers for being perfect for having it.
I think a lot of that will depend on how the fallout with Austin Theory goes.
Can
Where
that
he
just
lands.
happen
If it
already?
happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, oh my goodness.
God, I don't even know how to compare them to a couple. They're just like, you got those annoying mates who are like, I'm done with him. I'm never talking to him ever again. And then like 2 weeks later, it's like, no, I love him really. It's just we have our ups and downs. It's like literally like split up or get married. One of the two.
uh, no, I agree. It's annoying, but yeah, I think Waller's someone who could absolutely run that and make money out of it.
He needs 10 minutes on the mic.
He's so I hate him so much, but that's why I love him.
Yeah. A couple other people I have on the list. I have LA Knight.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, LA Knight. If we were going for see if this was going into John Cena being a heel for his last match, LA Knight would have actually been my #1 pick probably. I really considered him. And as I said, he would have definitely been up there. It's just I just think they're going to go babyface John Cena. It makes sense. I think it's what people want to see. I mean, I said that doesn't necessarily mean it has to go that way. It could still well be LA Knight. I just think it's better suited to being a heel. But Yeah, LA Knight would be my top pick if it was a heel John Cena going up against a babyface. I would love to see that.
Unless we end up with a heel LA Knight.
Which is possible, but again, comes into merch sales. He's too good for them.
He is too good for it. See, this is the thing. This is an annoying thing about Josh. Josh throws out ridiculous ones that make complete sense.
I'm gonna throw
We've
out.
got
I'm gonna throw another ridiculous one out, and it's Solo Sokoa.
the fun of doom. I mean, he's got previous. He has a win over John Cena 1-on-1.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
supposed to propel him to stardom.
Yeah.
and he's good. He is great. It's so funny. I seen him. There's Sante on TikTok was saying it was when you see the group of like Solo stood next to JC Mateo, Tangaloa, and now Tala Tonga. It's the most auralist looking group. I don't think I'm scared of any of those men. Like, you just look at them and I'm like, this is the most amazingly pathetic group of men I've ever seen, and I love it.
Somebody said the other day that JC Mateo's got the physique of a toddler, and I can't get it out of my head now.
I love that. I actually get it on that. I don't know if you did see Josh. I think you were correct in saying it does look like they are going with Tala. And I didn't actually realize that was his actual name, Hikuleo. His real name is his actual name is Tala. Well, I don't
Oh
know how you
wow.
pronounce it, but it's yeah. I didn't actually realize that. I looked it up earlier when I heard someone speaking about it. It's his actual name.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't
I
even
love
know that
Solo
either.
though.
But yeah, no, same. I this current solo. This is why I went for. See if we did like standard solo going in against Jacob Fatu Night of Champions, I would have picked Jacob Fatu all day long. But this new solo, I can get behind it. I love it.
Oh,
That
he's
I've
brilliant.
got tickets is great.
He's like God, oddly got. He's gone from a silent assassin enforcer to comedy gold.
And it's perfect for him. And you know what? As you said, it's not even the most ridiculous of ideas either to have solo because you know fine well what would happen. It'd be a standard bloodlines match, but it's what gets them the win. So like, you could, if they were to do that, I could see that would be how Solo would go on to beat John Cena.
Again, Josh, ridiculous idea that makes absolute sense.
Um, so I'm gonna throw two last ones out at you guys, and do what you want with these names. Um, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov.
I see, I didn't consider Carmelo to be honest with you. I so considered Elio. So considered Elio. It's actually one of the reasons I kind of went. I chose Gunfor pretty much over Elio when it came to it there. I'm slightly not just biased. I adore Ilya Dragunov before he even got to WWE. He's so good. His matches, by the way, with Jordan Devlin in OTT in Ireland are some of the craziest matches I've ever seen. Again, there's a recommendation for you. Um, but I adore Ilya and I want him to come back and just get pushed to superstardom. I love so I would be so down for it because I adore him.
So I have a weird Ilian Dragunov blind spot. As in, there was a time where I stopped watching wrestling for a little bit and then started, and in that time he'd come and got injured and gone again.
Oh wow.
So he vanished. I'm trying to think when's in within WWE. Going back and watch his. I don't know what take it was during. It was during COVID. Josh might remember this one potentially in NXT. Ilya versus Gunther WWE UK Championship match, potentially one of the best matches of all time. Easy.
Oh
Is this,
yeah,
is
I
this
believe
Gunther
it.
Gunther or Walter Gunther?
I think it's Walt. Is he still Walter at that point? Maybe Walter's still at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think in
he was
NXT he was
Walter at that
UK.
point.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that match, if you go watch that and you'll learn everything about Ilya. The guy's a maniac, and I love him.
hey, I've learned again. I've learned more again.
Um, Last point about Carmelo, and one thing that popped into my mind when I put Carmelo on the list is, do you guys remember Carmelo Hayes' NXT debut when he
God,
came out face to face to Adam Cole and he used the ruthless aggression line?
my God, jeez, he did. Yeah, that is a hell of a memory.
Yeah. So there
God
is
damn.
also that.
It did them. Well, I might be going completely wrong. Did like Carmelo not? Was it Carmelo that had John Cena in his corner, or was it not something that in NXT? I can't remember who it was. And someone had like John Cena on the corner back, and the other person had like Roman or something. Was it maybe tracking Carmelo, or was it?
Oh, I think it was Cena on one side and Paul on the other.
Ah,
Um, that
yes, it was.
may
Was it Braun? Maybe if it was Paul,
yeah, it was
I must find this out.
Braun and maybe Mello.
I think so. Maybe I should. I'm gonna. I need to find this because it's annoying me. Car.
I don't
They
think it
need to
was
do something with
Trick at the.
Carmelo Hayes, just while Ruth Googling.
Aha, they do. Well, yes. First was just that. I agree. Yes, it was. It was. John Cena backed Carmelo Hayes in his match against Braun Breaker, who was backed by Paul Heyman, and that was in October 2023.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It all comes full circle. And it would give something to that studio said there, like part of me doesn't even consider Carmelo, and it sucks. Like, is WWE don't consider Carmelo. Once again, it's got the giant battle royal winner curse. They've won that. Cool. That's all
Yeah,
accolades you're getting for the entire year. That's it.
for your career.
Yeah, that's it exactly. And I admit at the start of the year, Carmelo was my either one or two to be Money in the Bank winner. It was either him or Braun. And now I I don't care because WWE have made me not care, and that's what's annoying.
See, I was for a while wanting him to be the next man in Seth Rollins' faction.
Yeah,
But even with that, I know there's probably a fourth man coming. Even with that, I'm not even considering Carmelo Hayes because, as you said, WWE aren't considering Carmelo Hayes.
yeah. So why should we?
I mean, they've even got him in this little thing with the Miz, and then they just left it while when the Miz left to go do American Gladiators. So
Yeah, I forgot
he's even
about
stopped wearing the Dre, man.
that. I completely, yeah, I even that's what I mean. I completely forgot even the mid stuff, and I was like, they didn't even get, as you said, get a blow after that. So yeah, it's frustrating what they've done with Carmelo. And if he would been as just said in Seth Rollins' group, if he'd been high up in the card, I would be someone I'd be quite happy to see with Tyler Johnson, but unfortunately not now.
Bring back Brock.
Brock versus Cena. I think if Brock was still in the company, there'd definitely be a match I would see them doing. Would be that, but
I think
yeah,
that's
fair
the
enough.
only last. If that was John Cena's last match, I think that'd be the only one I'd see him actually winning,
Yeah.
getting the revenge for that SummerSlam match. He just throws Brock Lesnar around the ring for like 20 minutes and then pins him.
Sure.
Get some 28
Just
A's.
go completely switch up.
He does most matches now anyway.
True.
Um, is there any last minute guys you guys wanted to throw out?
I want to know out of all those who you guys would want to see most now.
Who do we want
Out
to,
of
or
all
who
the
do we think?
suggestions, who do we want it to be?
That's what I'm saying. Definitely, is it who do we want or who do we think?
I'm
Who I
going to say want because maybe one of us has been persuaded.
Okay.
who I wanted to be the most is Braun Breaker for me.
Yeah, Braun's got to be the shout. I'll be different, and this is really self-centered of me and go with my own pick because even surprised myself. I'm gonna go with Gunther after speaking about it because you know what? It wasn't just me; it was all of us speaking about it. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, actually, I want to see Gunther kill John Cena in the ring. So I'm gonna go with Gunther.
I'm with you. I'm going with Gunther. Bron Breakker for Bron Breakker, I would like to see it.
Yeah.
But for just the spectacle of it, I'd like to see, as you say, Gunther go in and absolutely dismantle mentally and physically.
Back into it. Okay, we are back. Zoom very rudely interrupted Stu, so Stu, I'll let you.
No, I'm not talking now. Screw it. No, I think the way we've described it, the visual of Gunther standing over a broken and bloody John Cena at the end, that kind of excited me more than anything else we've talked about. I think that's where I want to go, and it will just make the mega heel that Gunther deserves to be anyway.
Yeah, that's that's it. I think like the I would say that I would say the obvious one, and again, obvious is not bad. I think a lot of people online, especially, get that mixed up very frequently, especially on Twitter. I think the obvious one would be Braun Breaker, and someone who I think deserves it that's the most because it just would push him. But as we've just said, I more thought about it. I want to see Gunther do it.
Yeah, there'd be no beef with either one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, Gunther would be my second person that I'd want. I am I'm a fan of both, but I'm a Braun Breaker stan, and this is a guy I want to see have all the glory. So I am a little bit biased in that pick. I would have no problem with Gunther being the person. Um, but for me, I just want to see Braun Breaker in that spot. I want to see this guy in the main event of WrestleManias, and I want to see this guy as a multiple time world champion.
Yeah,
I
well,
agree.
let's like exactly. There's no disagreement at all. Like I totally see it, and I just said it would get him up there. It's annoying, not annoying. It's annoying. There's other guys going full on baby face because again, if he was a horrible heel, I would have loved to see it being like Jacob Fatu or someone put in that position. But I think if we're going down the heel route, and most likely will, I think Braun or Gunther, they're up there one and two for me easy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can't look beyond either of those two. So it'll probably be Kurt Angle.
Well, I mean, I also messaged in the group chat. My original plan, sorry to like kick her off, what I did think it would be Chad Gable with the involvement of Kurt Angle. But obviously, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I don't think Chad, at minimum, won't be back until late December, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's done.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen it being Chad Gable, but it can't be.
Yeah. Um, and apparently it's obviously not been confirmed, but apparently Cena is going to get his own premium live event for his retirement match.
Oh,
Which
really?
I think would be pretty cool. Yeah, there's been rumors that they're going to do a ruthless aggression themed PLE in December.
It couldn't be called anything else, could it?
But yeah, I think that
That
would
would make
be really
sense.
cool.
I would assume that they would probably do it in like I don't know, like Boston or somewhere in Massachusetts, surely.
Yeah.
100%. It might be the only place he gets cheered by then.
I know exactly. Okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't actually hear that, so it'd be interesting if they do it. And as you said, I can see it being called ruthless aggression, like one last time or something like
Yeah. They
I think
do
they
it
should
in
have a certain
Chicago.
section.
that.
Oh, yes. Do you remember ECW's One Night Stand where they had
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the WWE guys standing on the balcony? I
yeah.
think they should have that with all like Wade Barrett and the Nexus, Zack Ryder,
Everyone just up there.
everyone John Cena has dismantled in his career.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm down for it.
Um but yeah, is I think that is everything. Do you guys have anybody else?
I think
No, I've
that's
exhausted
it.
even my ridiculous options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for
Um
me too.
yeah, so let us know in the comments if we didn't mention anyone you guys have in mind. We pretty much ran down through a lot, so I am interested if there's anybody else you guys think. I know we yeah, I just took it. We didn't even really get into like any like deep NXT guys other than like Ethan Page. Um, but we went a little more realistic. Because like as cool as it would be for someone like Obafemi to get it, that won't happen. Um,
Oba was in my thought
It would
process.
take a lot of
Yeah,
building.
it would for how little time they've got. Oba was absolutely in my thought process. I think to kind of a caveat, I think as you said there, Josh, with NXT is I kind of both actually what Josh said and then what just said is it's going to take a lot of building, and I think the one person who's already a dastardly heel who doesn't need that building is Ethan Page. He's the only one
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense in there.
And actually, on the topic of NXT, I'm gonna throw out one more NXT wild card, and I'm gonna say Ricky Saints.
Yeah, he was the other one I considered
Yeah,
from NXT as well.
Yeah, as a heel.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think as a heel would
which
be
he could easily fit.
yeah. Um. So yeah, that is everything. Let us know what you guys think and what and who you'd like to see John Cena face for his last match. And hopefully, like we've alluded to multiple times, it's not a Kurt Angle situation that they do, which it doesn't seem like it's going to be, thank God. Um, so yeah, let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. And so you can see all the podcasts like this that are not the headlines of the week or predictions podcast. These ideas just come from conversations in the group chat. So we'll probably have a few more of these that come out in the future. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Leave a comment on Spotify and leave a follow on Spotify if you're listening over there. And yeah, subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. $5 minimum for the exclusive wrestling content here. Check out my WWE shop link. Check out Still World Order on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Check out Ruan Wrestling on TikTok. They've got some amazing content over there. So make sure you guys show them some support as well. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one, which I believe will be the headlines of the week. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.